Continuing reading in Molasses Moon from my Amazon Kindle Fire. Left off in the last video, number 14, on that page. Don't know how much you can read of it, but I'll get back in my little mode here. I'll start up here where I said, watch out. I think the roof's beginning to give. You're beginning to see a few things, aren't you? I said beginning to see. Don't worry. I won't be giving a test. Not right away, anyway. I haven't stated the questions clearly for myself yet. You could be ahead of me, I don't know. You may be testing me before I get myself in gear. Boy, what an enormous silence there is out there. I can't hear anything in the way of feedback, damn it. I thought maybe Mary, Dale, and Barbara might have called this weekend or written to me. If they wrote, I should have something to do. If they wrote, I should have something in my P.O. box tomorrow. St. Pat's Day. No, do that sentence over. Okay, if they wrote, I should have something in my P.O. box tomorrow, St. Pat's Day. Maybe box 99 will be so full the postmaster will have to set aside a separate mail bag for me. I've fantasized about that, you know. When I'm a famous author, I should have enough mail to require a bigger box or a bag. I hope I can keep up with it. Some writers have so much that if they answered it all, it would be a full-time job, and they wouldn't have time to write novels. I said when I've achieved qualmlessness, my success would be immediate. I guess I could work on relieving qualms instead of sweating queries. I know. Haven't been writing queries lately anyway. Problem with qualm rooting is I don't know where to start. It's such an overwhelming job. I could go check the mail to see if, by some strange fluke, I have a letter requesting to see the Molasses Moon manuscript. That would give me something to do to avoid writing queries or hunting qualms. It's nearly 2 o'clock, and I've been in this attic all day working on Chapter 7 and this one. It's getting hot up here. If I leave to walk the block to the post office, I might miss the UPS man, qualm number 1, on the leaving the house issue. I'm waiting for COD parts for one of Tom's customers. Tom wants me to deliver them to his job site in Florence when they get here. And I want to make copies of these 2 chapters in the Canyon City copy shop after I deliver the parts to Tom. I plan to maintain 4 ongoing copies to send out when I get my I must see it requests. One of the copies is currently with the Morellis. Another is with Dale. I'm using one for a personal reading copy. There is an untouched copy in an envelope on my desk. The envelope's resting on a Care Mail, A Taste of Home cookie box, in which Quarter Moon Dews resides. Tara needs a break. I wonder if excuses are related to qualms. If I'm at the post office and see the UPS truck, I suppose I could run back home before he left. Okay, that's what I did. I went to the post office, but I didn't have to run back. It's now 2:30 and no UPS truck. No mail either. Damn. Oh well, I've said the 17th would be the day. We'll see. I'll decide tomorrow what to say about it if the box is empty. Hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised. I know the best way to deal with waiting is not to wait. To forget about the friends you're waiting to hear from, the editors and agents you're wanting to notice you, The last 10 years' effort you're wanting to get paid for. The books with your name on them you want to take off a Walden shelf and hold in your hands. The UPS truck you're wanting to get out of the way. As far as UPS, it's no problem. I've decided to wait until tomorrow to make copies anyway, and Tara's had a walk with me to the post office. She can tolerate the boredom of being in the house with me for a while longer. I gave her a cookie to help. I've made myself a nice cool glass of iced tea. I'm looking forward to Picard at 4 o'clock. Until then, I'll keep writing new stuff so I'll have something tomorrow on which to start my day. It's a great pleasure as well as easier for me to rev up my engines on revisions instead of having to break new ground in the morning. Do you realize how terrifying it can be to write with no plan to speak of, only a quirky perking to depend on? Well, it's terrifying. I can't say how much because I've nothing to compare. I'm constantly facing nothing since I have no idea what I'm going to write next. That's what you call living in the now. As I said, though, I do have goals. Yet if they get too involved, I have a worse problem, that of rushing to capture all my goals before they disappear. So I nurture the nothingness. I like to play my fingers on the keyboard with a clean, clear, blank mind, then ride the thoughts and scenes as I let them begin rolling. I have written non-fiction before with a regular planned outline. I began a book, The Alchemy of Soulmates, an astrology work with a detailed outline. I wrote the first chapter, then quit. I didn't have the immediate motivation to write that book. My perky, bubbly gems were so much more fun. I've decided if I want to write astrology books, I'll do it after I'm famous and want to change from riding the waves of my spirit. Likely the next nonfiction book I'll do will be a transcription of my 6-hour taped lecture given in 3 evenings, The Easy Way to Kashmir. In that lecture, I detail my Chiron techniques for increasing the reality-altering power of the mind. The techniques do work now to a degree, but they may work even better in a few decades. You're really going to think this is crazy, but I've hypothesized that a mental atmosphere exists around the planet, along with the physical one, and that it has a limiting effect to any individual resident's capacity to put his mind over his matter. I've decided, at least for the purposes of my fiction, this mental atmosphere is gradually changing and correcting itself as we, quantum by quantum, inch by inch, get it right. My atmosphere phenomenon is explained in my sextet, mostly in the rose, morning, and full moon. As I've said in these words, one mind, thinking clearly and correctly, can transform the universe. Don't forget I've said clearly and correctly. And as with all my words, I mean them precisely, if I'm conscious when I write them. One day I may be a red snapper, floundering beet-faced, if you catch me in something I said but didn't mean quite as it came out. And notice I spelled beet correctly. B-E-E-T. Miracles do happen. When you've written as many words as I have, I suppose it's possible to slip up when something slips your mind. Or even contradict yourself when you've been working at something for 10 years with a fluky memory. That'll probably be the closest I ever get to humility. Which reminds me, I switched gods. New Moon Blues has a new set rising above the prior ones. I had a hell of a time bringing my old ones in with my new ones, in a logical, believable scenario. I didn't want to leave anyone out or cancel any gods. I'm not sure I quite understand all the details and links myself. But no matter, I will. Hopefully you will too. I promised myself and made affirmations to that effect when I started the rose. I promised that my tale would be cohesive, coherent, and fully circular. I'm still going in circles. The stories are fascinating and stimulating. There's enough food for thought in them to feed the world for an eternity. Speaking of food, I use eggs a lot, literally and symbolically. Not to worry, cholesterol doesn't collect in your mind. It wouldn't be a problem there anyway. Soon you'll know it's not a problem in your body either. I also use Chinese and Mexican food, beef, and white bread, as well as sourdough. I use whatever I like that's there at the time. I make it fit by seeing its significance. I'm getting hungry and it's only 3:30. My iced tea's gone. But it's not too hot up here now. It's clouded up outside. Hallelujah. It's nearing 4 o'clock. Picard, here I come. I hope you're not a rerun of scene. That's the end of chapter 8. Chapter 9. Goat heads and goads. I woke up with a goad this morning at 5:30. I think it was 5:30. I'm okay, don't worry. It doesn't hurt, though it is firmly planted in my brain. It's wedged between the right and left hemispheres to make sure it does its job one way or another in spite of my memory linkage problem. Yeah, that's another pausing point. Oh, I don't know what to say to conclude this one. Another day, another story.